Behind the Hive. With me, your host, as always, Brian Dressel. With me, as always, is Chewy Darso.
Hello.
And Jonathan Hardesty.
This is your best one yet.
And I'm so done with it. I will never do that voice again until I do.
Behind the Hive.
Fourth time's the charm, right? This week, we are finally talking about the one that I threw out as a lark like 5 weeks ago. Like, wouldn't it be funny if we talked about Superstar? And now here we are. And before we even get started in this thing, I gotta say, oops, I kind of liked it.
I kind of like to just talk about how much Roger Ebert didn't like this
Oh,
movie.
he did not like this movie.
Roger Ebert.
Oh, I didn't read his review
movie.
on this one, so I'm curious.
Yeah, I just read his one-liner on Metacritic, and even that was just like, oof, this guy's not a fan.
Roger.
Look, I'm a fan of his shade because it is
yeah.
very sharp.
Oh yeah, when he does not like something, he does not mince words, or did not mince words, I should say.
Well, on Wikipedia it says, he furthermore described Shannon's character as hostile and not very nice, stating that she's one of those people who inspire you the inexplicable desire to be hurtful and cruel.
So Roger Ebert is sitting in probably, I'm guessing AMC in Chicago, probably that one on Lake Street. I know what theater he used to go to, and I'm guessing he's just sitting there going, I fucking hate this movie.
I don't
Just seething with rage.
Shaking his fist up in the sky like, Superstar!
I don't like it.
Turn it off!
Like, I just wonder, did he watch the skits? Did he have any intro to this character?
That brings us as an excellent segue into where they've been doing. I actually have two this week, but we'll start with one that the segue worked for. We watched some of the Mary Catherine Gallagher skits.
You also had us rewatch MacGruber.
That's the other one. I'll talk about that one after the one that we could easily segue into.
Okay, sorry.
All good. I have to say, I'm not a fan of the skits. I used to be, and holy crap, do they bore the hell out of me now. Like, whoa.
You mostly just make me think about, how's Molly Shannon doing that without getting hurt?
Oh, yeah, she's phenomenal in them. Actually, I think she's great in the movie, too. I'm a big fan of Molly Shannon. She's great throughout the entire skit. Like, every single one of them. She's fantastic. Like, her physical comedy, how she didn't end everyone with a broken ankle or elbow or something, I don't understand. But she was hysterical. But the content itself was just, I get it. You're awkward. You're going to smell your armpits?
Awkward,
Yep, there that is.
And she's intense.
You're going to do a monologue from an old TV movie? Okay. It's going to wrap up at some point here.
I do remember that from watching these back in the day, just being like, okay, let's get to the funny ones.
Yeah, it just, maybe I watched the wrong ones. We watched, what, 2 or 3 of them?
They're all basically the same shtick.
It wasn't like when we watched the Wayne's World sketches where it's like, oh, each one of these has a different like angle they're coming for. Yes, it's the same 2 characters, but now they're doing this or that or the other. Whereas this one is just like, Mary Catherine Gallagher is going to hit all the same beats in this location. She's going to hit all the same beats in this location.
Yeah.
It's just like, I think after 2 or 3 of them, we had just severely had our fill. And it's like, well, I'm a little worried about this movie. And then the movie did everything that the skits didn't, and I actually really enjoyed the movie. But I have a feeling I'm going to walk away as the biggest fan of this movie at the table, but that's okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, I kind of jumped into this movie being like, well, not really jumped. I was more like, okay, this movie about this character, all right. And then by the end, I was a lot more positive.
Yeah, it's like it's easily the worst movie we watched this month.
Yes.
But the other 3 movies we watched were surprisingly fantastic, if not.
No. But the air feels so good.
I don't care. If not entirely fantastic, like Wayne's World and Blues Brothers, and then Coneheads was just surprisingly great. So the fact that this movie still kind of held up, at least as far as they're all funny, I'm impressed.
Yeah, and I had laugh out loud moments in this. Like compared, like I love the other ones, but like this one, I actually unexpectedly just laughed out loud
And
at
I
multiple
wonder,
times.
And before we get too far into it, I do still have my other where they've been doing that I'll do very quickly. But I will say it's interesting if the only reason that, say, John and I and Chewy partially enjoyed this movie as much as we did is because we went in with such low expectations that it's like, oh, it's actually not that bad. I thought this was going to be, like, unwatchable, and yet here we are watching it. But speaking of movies that are similar to that, and I'd actually put it pretty close to on par with Superstar. On my, I think, 5th rewatch now, we watched MacGruber. And watched another SNL movie.
I mean,
All right.
The way that Roger Ebert describes Mary is kind of how I feel.
I mean, we didn't even
About
finish it.
what's-his-face.
I think we left like half an hour left, and it's like, nah, we're done. And we're gonna go to bed.
MacGruber is such an unlikable
He
person.
is awful.
He's just the worst.
Oh my god! Like that's the whole movie. It's like, how is MacGruber gonna be terrible in this situation? How about this situation? Oh my god, he's just the worst.
He's a bad person.
His obsession with the car that cuts him off. That he goes and fucks up their car because of like a very minor traffic transgression. I like the movie. It's entertaining and stupid, but I think I've seen it too many times at this point.
I could maybe be okay with it if it wasn't for the fact that he still had the woman that for some reason falls in love with him. I'm like,
Well, it's
why?
Kristen Wiig.
I know, but why?
Well-
What is he offering that's anything positive?
Men wanted to be him. Women wanted to be with him. No, that's Anchorman.
Oh my god, I would take Anchorman over MacGruber any day.
I would take him from this movie. Sky. Ooh, I love me some Sky. I love Sky.
No, I'd still take Anchorman.
Fair enough, but Sky wins.
Sky is.
I mean,
funny.
no, Anchorman's a far better character. Before anyone's like, "What the fuck is Brian talking?" No.
Yeah,
Don't
no,
get
but
me wrong.
Sky's
I'm
got
just-
the moves. Sky's got the moves.
He has the best move, which I'm going to bring up a lot
I do.
throughout this entire episode. It's called the Peppermill.
Scott, yeah, that's actually not a terrible dance move. It's not terrible. I mean, it's just as good as dice, if not better.
It's just the
Right.
delivery of just like the random cutaway of just a one on Will Ferrell. Here you go. I call this one the Peppermill, and he just starts doing it. You're welcome. It's just so fucking good. Ay.
Though Sky did give me something that I want to use against somebody at some point, where we're having a rather mild argument, and then at some point I'm just gonna look at him dead in the eyes and be like, "Oh, now you're giving me attitude." Totally unmotivated. The person
Right.
won't know what's going on. I hope to be able to do that someday.
Oh my god. I would love to do that to like I don't want to be that mean. Never mind. I'm not going to do it to anybody. Let's do a quick breakdown of this thing. As it was my pick, I will attempt to do one very quickly, and then we can actually talk a little more freely about it. So this movie picks up with Mary Catherine Gallagher as a young girl, and all she wants in life is to be kissed. And then it meets her when she's in high school, and all she wants is to be kissed. And the way that she's going to do that is by joining a talent show and showing what a good singer-dancer she is, and impress the hottest guy in school and get them to kiss. Doesn't really work out, but she does end up with a boyfriend anyways, who's played by Harland. I always forget his last name.
Harlan Williams.
Harlan Williams, who I fucking love. Yeah, she ends up dating him. She makes out with a couple of trees. That's pretty much it. Like, it kind of feels like it wanted to be Carrie-esque. Like, kind of use the framework of Carrie to tell this story. But since the movie's so goddamn ridiculous, it just kind of... It really hides the Carrie bone structure. But I think it's there.
And it has Mark from my show, Superstar,
It does have Mark from your show.
with crazy Irish eyebrows.
And I never... did not recognize him. Until if you had never pointed out that it was him, I never would have got it.
We're just laying down watching the movie and we're like, hey, there's Mark.
And then after a while, I'm like, wait, Mark who? Who was that?
Mark McGee.
Glenn from my show. Glenn from Superstore. I know who you're talking about. Now we're on the same page.
He was fun in this movie.
He was. We can kind of start with him because there's not really a lot to say about him, but the little bit he had was entertaining.
He wanted to help Mary as best he could. And he appreciated the dig that Mary got against
Oh my god. Evian.
Evian.
Some of the one-liners in this movie are shockingly
It's
funny.
like, go drink a bottle of
drink a bottle
yourself.
You're only embarrassed because you're named after a bottle of water. Go drink a bottle of yourself. fuck, Molly Shannon's funny.
It's a good insult. And
John-
I would totally change my name.
oh my god, yes. John, what did you think of the priest?
I thought it was funny, but I didn't make that connection that you guys did. But yeah,
He has a couple just amazing one-liners. Like that's really why I think I liked him as much as I did. He has one. I don't remember exactly where it came up. Where girls have a button, boys have a pole. Wicked touching takes its toll. It's just like
right.
and it just
Forgot
delivers
that.
them all like
Cute.
so dry and so awkward that it's just like not awkward, just like so dry and just like nonchalant. It's like I almost would have missed it if I wasn't looking at like quotes and stuff doing research before today's episode. I'm like, holy shit, I totally forgot that one. Like, there's just a lot of those that he sneaks in there just because he's a funny guy. But I don't think beyond that, they really had much for him to do in this.
Yeah, no, there's not a whole lot, and I think that's probably why I kind of was like, he's okay.
Yeah.
When you asked me what I thought, because it was like, apart from that one line, which is hilarious, it's just he's there to be long suffering of Mary.
Yeah. Other characters who don't really have a lot to do but make the best of what they have. We have the mom of Mary Poppins, the mom from Mary Poppins in this. She plays Mary Catherine Gellin's mom. What's her name?
Glynis Johns.
Thank you, Glynis Johns. Yeah. She doesn't have a ton to do here. She just basically plays the nice version of the mom from Carrie. You know, like the whole like stay in your room, you're going to do business, you're going to do this, and I'm going to shelter you till you're who you're supposed to be.
Gonna
and
be a businesswoman.
yeah, a businesswoman. You can't dance.
And
Dancing.
she has my
The dancing
has my-
killed your parents speech is goddamn hysterical.
yes, it
So,
is.
but I'm really curious with the. So she lied to Mary about her parents being killed by a bunch of angry hammerhead sharks.
Yes.
But then that other guy said that his parents actually did get killed that way.
That happens a lot.
That happens a whole lot. Yeah.
What
You
if
beat me
they're
to it.
brother and sister?
That'd be very in this movie. That I could definitely see that. If they'd gotten a sequel, it wouldn't have surprised me. But holy shit.
Them being stepped to death by.
It doesn't help that I'm also watching the show Stargirl right now, that has a lot of dead parents in it that all died similarly. And I'm like, wait, where's the hammerhead shark thing from? Was that Superstar or Stargirl?
Oh,
Yeah. Oh,
they all either died by sharks or by Irish tap dancers?
No, they just all died in like mysterious lying ways. Like, oh, my dad was hit by a car and he was wrapped around a tree, but actually brainwave melted him. Like, it's like things like that. Either way.
You know, this stuff happens.
But I liked her mom. I thought her mom was really funny. It took me a minute to figure out where I knew her from, and I was actually doing the IMDb thing while watching it. While Chewy's like, I'm not sure. I'm like, that's what it is. And she's like, what is it? Votes for women. And like,
Oh, yeah.
Damn it.
And also, I just watched a movie recently with the kiddos, The Court Jester with Danny Kaye, and she's a romantic interest in that. It's kind of like a twist on Robin Hood. And, wow, yeah. Quite a looker in that one, and then go to this and
John's
have her have
lusting
my
for that
favorite
mom.
line. Oh yeah, and to have her go from that to this, and my favorite line in the whole movie is hers
Was she still lusty?
in the movie.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Don't be an ageist. If she was hot once, she's hot now.
That never changes.
Nope.
But no, she has my favorite line in this movie by far. When she's trying to get them to really go get ready and train in that montage.
Oh my god. She's just, like, her delivery is just great. And I think that's kind of why I like everyone in this movie so much. Like, even like that's why I'm kind of going through like, the somewhat lesser characters to begin with, because even Harlan Williams and Will Ferrell don't have a ton to do in this movie. They just kind of all fill their like one note purpose. And I don't mean that as an insult at all. I think it's very smartly done to just the star of the show is Molly Shannon, so let her be the star.
Honestly, the star of the show, to me, was her best friend. I liked
Oh
her
my
more.
god, she was fucking hysterical, and
I
I don't know who she is. Like, I
really
didn't recognize her really
wish-
from anything. But yeah, even with everybody who has these kind of like somewhat bit roles, Will Ferrell still feels like he has more than that. It's not until you kind of take a step back and kind of think about him. It's like, oh, he didn't really have a ton to do in this.
No, he was the hot guy.
Yeah, he's a hot guy who liked dancing.
Be the hot guy. The hot guy who plays football and is actually emotionally stunted.
Kind of emotionally stunted, but also like he saw his girlfriend be mean to another girl and he couldn't be with her anymore. She's mean.
Well, she was just being uncool or whatever it was.
She's being mean.
Yeah, and he wasn't being mean with the way he broke up with her in front of everybody.
He was the
and
worst.
Then lied about having a lengthy phone call and everything. I'm like, you're a douche.
Yeah, but she was mean.
There you go. That justifies it to me.
Sexist
Yeah.
standards.
Oh yeah, it's Will Ferrell's terrible. There's a reason she doesn't end up with Will
And
Ferrell.
he doesn't tell her she was mean. She asks, "What did I do?" And he just blows her off.
Well, he did say, "I saw how you're treating Mary Catherine Gallagher, and I don't think we can be together." Like he opens with that, and then he just never actually clarifies anything. At least I'm pretty sure. I'd have to go back and rewatch.
I know she asked, just tell me what I did when she goes to his house. And it's a pretty great moment when she's talking to his mom and he just walks by going, I'm not here, in his pajamas. Wait, there's like a whole big party going on and he's just walking around in his pajamas?
I just love the, oh, well, he's, no, thank you. He's not here right now. There's just something amazing about belligerent Will Ferrell.
And then how his mother turns into him as well. Just like, are you talking back to me?
Oh, now you're my attitude? And it's just one of those great little like writing things where it's like, oh, he got that from his mom. That's where he learned that reaction. And now you're giving me attitude?
Yeah. Excuse me?
Oh man. But you were talking about the or you wanted to talk about the best friend.
Yeah. Played by Emmy Laybourne. And when you look at her IMDb, she was not in too much. She was in The In-Law. Right, no. I don't care about her assistant directing. She
How dare you?
She did something up to 2007. And then she was at one episode of Michael J. Fox show in 2014. And that's it. Like, she had a couple of things here and there. The biggest thing other than this she was in was The Mystery Men.
But she played a reporter. Like, she wasn't...
Yeah.
Like, I remember looking that one up. Like, she's in it, but that's not really, like, her...
And it just seems like such a not good use of what I considered a very talented actress. I thought she did an amazing job being the awkward... best friend.
Oh my!
Her facial expressions to me were the funniest part of the movie.
Just her mouth. Her mouth could get so open, and like
it'd be an interesting thing to say to a woman. Your mouth can be so open.
I would never say it to him.
Well,
you know what I mean. If you watch the movie,
I know
you know
exactly
what I mean.
what you mean. It's just funny.
Ew. No, it was funny watching her with the braces and just doing the mouth, the oral gymnastics around those. I like had flashbacks to my own braces and just been like, the work you had to do to emote with all that metal in your face. It's just like, I'm surprised she wasn't in more because you have to do a lot for that.
And it's always funny to me when they take a obviously beautiful woman and they're like, all right, you're ugly and awkward. And she's like, I'll do my best. And she did her best, and she did it great with her face, but every time they got even close to her wearing anything that showed off her body, you're like, oh no, this girl's got it.
Oh, you are from Hollywood.
Oh yeah,
especially
their
when she
little
lifts
montage.
up her brother on in the strong woman outfit.
Oh god.
Like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
got some gams there, girl.
And then the montage at the church where they're doing like their documentary moment.
Oh my
just
god,
like-
that was
Oh, the
funny.
supermodel. That was honestly
Supermodel documentary.
that's one of the best moments in the whole film for me. If the film was more like that, I think I would have enjoyed it more.
I don't know. I kind of like that it kind of knew when to flex and when not to flex.
Yeah.
Like, because if it was the whole thing of that, then we would have had way more of like the Will Ferrell like doing the peppermill. And like just having that one hit of like the only time they ever do like this random cutaway of him introducing a dance is that one. It made it that much funnier. Like, so even like when he does do dances later and they're choreographed, it's like, oh, okay, but like we had that one hit. And I think it's kind of the same thing. Like, if we had more of those like cutaways, that would have been the shtick of the movie.
Yeah, that ultimately what you just said is why I tended to like this movie, or like why I like this movie more, and why I was surprised to have such a positive opinion at the end, because it did those things. It like didn't stick on too many moments for too long or overstay any jokes welcome.
Yeah, it really understood the whole like less is more attitude. Like it's you watch, say, Night of the Roxbury, and it's woof, the same joke over and over and over and over until the movie's over, and it's kind of frustrating.
And when they throw in other jokes, they're just kind of gross.
Yeah, it's just a rough movie to watch. Whereas, like, say, this one, every time there's a gag, it's like this gag's not going to come back around. Like that, this movie isn't here to like hammer home a joke. It's quick on its feet, and it just keeps throwing new things at you. Some of them work, some of them don't, and I'm sort of fine with that.
Yeah, I think the approach of trying it, just throwing it out there and then moving on, really worked. And
Yeah.
I really liked that. Just that to me stands out the most. Just being willing to go weird and go really big in its weirdness, and then just cut away and do something else. Like, okay, we had our time here. We're done. Let's move on to the
Yeah.
next weird thing.
Speaking of kind of weird things, the villain in this movie of Evian is just such a strange character because she's not really much of a threat.
She just doesn't like Mary.
That's it.
She's really into charities.
Yeah, she's into charities, and she's really anti-VD, which is hysterical. The entire intro to the talent show of like the priest VD thing. I'm not sure if you had missed that the whole thing was about VD or not, but when he's going to his speech, you're just like, the hell is he talking about?
I mean, they are going to go to Hollywood and potentially be an extra in a
Movie
was
with
it?
good morals.
good moral value.
Yeah. I don't know how they're gonna pull that off, but whatever. But I really like the villain. I always kind of forget her name though. She's been around in a ton of stuff. She was the bad lady in Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion.
Yeah.
Elaine Hendricks.
That sounds right.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, another character like everyone else in this movie, other than Molly Shannon, who we'll move on to after this. But she didn't have a ton. She's a little one-noted, but she made that one note really work. Like all the way up to like the final execution on, is this kind of Carrie but not Carrie, of dumping the blue paint on her? Like, there's everything in this movie. I think that she needed to be exactly what she was, and I think she did a great job with it. There's just not much more that she could have done.
I thought she tried harder than a couple of the other people, though. Just
In a good or a bad way?
In a good way, because she was definitely trying to be like a cartoon character almost.
Sure.
With some people in this movie were trying to be like, we're still humans. We're trying to be, somewhat realistic. And she was all about like just the slapsticky and for me at least.
No. I don't think you're wrong. I feel like she knew who her co-stars were with Molly Shannon and Will Ferrell, and she showed up to play.
Yeah. Like,
she's not an SNL person, not an SNL alum, or like from what I know, even really that into sketch comedy. I mean, maybe she is. I could be wrong about that.
She is quite the IMDb list.
Yeah, I mean,
so she has been around.
But like she had some pretty tough people to keep up with, and I think she did, which is impressive as hell.
I wish she was in more comedies, honestly. After she's probably been in a lot of stuff that I just haven't like fully nosed her on because she's a character actress.
Yeah.
But like between this and Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion, I'm like, you were so good at playing evil.
Oh yeah.
Like if she showed up on Always Sunny in Philadelphia as like a villain to D, it would be great.
Yeah, that.
I think they would bounce off each other so well.
Oh my god, make that a season-long arc. I'm so into it.
I will subscribe to whatever service it is
She
twice.
could play the same character that she did in this movie, except she's like the Hollywood successful actress that Dee wished she was.
Oh my god, that'd be funny.
Like, she's a rival high school friend.
I'd make her like a childhood friend because we've done their high school thing. She wasn't in high school.
Okay.
I'm getting too into like actually writing.
She was too into Hollywood. She couldn't go to the reunion.
Oh, there you go.
But what's his name from Grimm could be there.
I'm not going down this rabbit hole. I've done enough Grimm. So okay, if we've talked about everyone else, we got to talk about Molly Shannon. Beyond just me saying that I love Molly Shannon because I do. Whenever she pops up, it's like, oh, Molly Shannon's in this. I like that.
Yeah.
There was always kind of something about her just on SNL alone. Like I always felt like she was willing to be more like, especially when it came to like. The women on SNL, she was always much more of like a physical comedian. Like she almost had Chris Farley levels of just like, I'm willing to sacrifice my body for any joke. Like if it's gonna make somebody laugh, if I smack the ground harder, I'm gonna smack it harder. Like she just kind of always had that air about her, and I think that's kind of what made Mary Catherine Gallagher as a character really latch onto people was the physicality of her. Everything from the smelling her armpits to the way that she gets so physically invested in all of her monologues, to then when she's just flipping out and knocking over chairs and running into walls. Like, everything about Mary Catherine Gallagher has a physical component to it. There's very little of her that, like, she wouldn't work in a radio show. Like, you need to see her.
Yeah, you do.
Like, there's something that
now
Molly
that would be
Shannon
funny though.
I mean, it'd be something. I'm not sure if it'd be good or not. There'd just be a lot of sound effects of boom, 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 boom.
Smash, smash, smash. I'm okay.
Somehow I'm always fine.
Meant to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd think she would have some. Maybe she had a lot of visible bruises, and they just covered it up with her stockings and stuff.
That's very possible. I mean, she did go flying into many stacks of metal
Yeah,
chairs.
and they pad her underwear so much it's almost like she's wearing a diaper.
Oh yeah, her underwear is ridiculous.
You know, you have to hide the genitals. You have to make sure there's lots of padding in there, so there's no way you get any hint of a genital.
Yeah, I mean, because if there was any hint, we definitely would have seen it with how much
yes.
you're up her skirt the whole movie.
You see her butt a bunch.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, those are the underwear is probably taped on there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Like, do not get a wedgie.
But there is just something kind of like different just with that, with the whole like physicality role. Like, I just can't. I'm trying to think about it, and so I'm kind of. I'm trying to think of another female comedic role that is this physical, like that doesn't have Rebel Wilson attached. Like, Rebel Wilson's the only other person I can think of that is that much just like willing to sacrifice physicality for humor.
I mean,
Melissa McCarthy.
Lucille Ball.
Oh, that's some high praise for
Yeah,
Molly
but,
Shannon.
like, when
I'm
you-
not saying you're wrong.
But when you think physicality and female comedians, you can't not think of Lucille Ball.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, is that the level that we're talking? I mean, I'm there in Molly Shannon. I love Molly Shannon, but like that's the sort of thing that we're talking about. Is like,
Yeah, no, you're probably hit the nail on the head there. There's Lucille Ball and then Molly Shannon in terms of commitment and just sheer gusto.
but
And-
they're the only other person I can think of, even on SNL, when it comes to like the women on SNL that like would get so into these characters that they would legitimately, at least in my opinion, you're not looking at Molly Shannon anymore. You're looking at Mary Catherine
I
Gallagher.
mean, Kate McKinnon really gets physical.
She does, but Kate McKinnon is. I love Kate McKinnon, but she's always Kate McKinnon. It's Kate McKinnon in this or Kate McKinnon in that. Whereas like
Kate-
Molly Shannon, I didn't really get that. The only
Kate
other one that,
McKinnon does have a problem where she always looks like she's smiling.
yeah, and Molly Shannon does not have that problem. The other person I was going to bring up who was really like that would be Gilda Radner. Was always just like, holy shit! Like, I don't know how you could keep your shit together when she was talking.
Yeah.
And I had that same thing with Molly Shannon. Like, I feel like when Molly Shannon is on, I couldn't be on camera with her. I'd be laughing the whole time.
Oh yeah, I would totally lose it. Just no improv for me. I'm too busy dying.
Yeah. But I think she brings all of this stuff that we're talking about, all of it, to the plate in this movie. Because she's not the star of many films. Like, this was her really, I would say probably her biggest film with her in the lead. Like, they put all the money behind it. This was an SNL Studios production. You had that nice title card at the beginning. This was her big movie. And it's kind of a shame
She
it
got
did.
a big title card based on character created by.
Yeah. In my opinion, it's kind of a shame that it's her only one because she was great. I actually think she did a great job in this movie.
Yeah.
Am I the only one?
No.
No. I think so. And I think if she had gotten a sequel, it wouldn't have gone the way of Wayne's World 2, I don't think, where it was like, okay, this is funny. It's a bit much.
This movie's not as good as Wayne World.
No,
But in terms of sequels, in terms of sequel drop, I don't think we would have had that much of a sequel drop given her level of commitment to the role. That's kind of what I was angling for. On that.
sure. I see what you mean there. Yeah, because the problem with Wayne's World 2 will always be,
He didn't have someone to wrangle
yeah,
him
you
in.
needed somebody to wrangle him in. And I think Molly Shannon started there. Like, she has just wonderful chemistry with the director and with Will Ferrell and pretty much the whole cast that I think if you brought most of them back around, we would have just gotten maybe even better movie. Like, they would have figured out what worked and what didn't work, unless they just
Maybe.
this was all of their ideas, in which case good thing they only got one.
I mean, I think they did stretch out the movie pretty well. I don't have the love for it that you do.
I don't love it. I'm just so impressed by it. Like, I'm impressed that
The
it got
source material was
good.
low.
I didn't enjoy the source material. I never had any interest in seeing it, even though I like Molly Shannon. I'm like, nope, even she can't get me to watch that movie. I went into this thing and I was thinking about live tweeting while we're watching it just to be like, why the fuck did I pick this movie? Why would I ever watch this? And about 5 minutes in, I'm like, actually, I kind of like this. Oh shit, I'm just gonna watch it. It's pretty funny. Oh
yeah. No, I had stuff ready to multitask and get some other stuff done, and yeah, within about 10 minutes, and it's the pepper grinder. I was like, oh god, I'm in this.
Yeah, I was.
The movie did make me want to see that Bubble Boy movie.
John Travolta.
John Travolta. I'm intrigued. It seems like an interesting love story there.
Oh,
It is their 19th most favorite made-for-TV movie.
Both of theirs.
Yeah. Whoa.
I don't think I can name 19 made-for-TV movies.
I mean, all of mine are things like Merlin.
That's a miniseries, though. It wasn't
I
a
know.
made-for-TV movie.
The movies weren't so as good.
It's every TV show out today. They're all long movies. Woo!
All right, I think we've kind of rounded the drain on this one. It's kind of a shallow experience. There's not really much that we can dive into as far as the. I was debating on
your birthmark looks like shit, and you're a terrible swimmer.
I just love the
Can
way
we just call it the moment when she jumps into the pool and he's completely upside down, and like. He just can't swim. It's just like, I don't know, it was weird for him jumping in right side up and he was just already all the way upside down.
The entire conversation with Harlan where he's like, oh, I was probably already drowning. I'm a terrible swimmer. And then when you see him swim, it's like, oh, wow, he is a terrible swimmer.
Like, not even a doggy paddle. Like, he's just done.
He just...
When they're swimming out of the pool and he just doesn't know how to swim, he's on his back trying to do a doggy paddle. Like, what is he doing? He's a bad swimmer. It was one of the only, like, just purely sight gags in the movie that just destroyed me.
Oh. We didn't talk about God in this movie.
We didn't talk about God.
Her manifestation of her subconscious of God. This is a fun God.
When she offers him a glass of water and he's like, I'm good. I'm God.
My favorite part is when he turns on the record player and he's like, yeah, the song's about me.
Or even when he's talking to Harlan at the end of the movie, he's like, I don't know. God did show up to tell you to go to her.
So I don't know. Yeah.
Fuck.
Got out.
God was very funny in this movie.
I want to see that version of. I would see a spin-off of that version of God, mixed with a priest. No,
like a road trip or
Preacher.
something.
Preacher.
Yeah, if that's the God that Preacher's trying to run after, like, he's like, what?
I'm busy. Can't you see?
You made me blow up a whole town. No, I didn't.
Sorry, bro.
Didn't mean to put you out. Wow. Oh man.
There's just a lot of.
We're not writing this as good as I was hoping we would.
No, this one's a little bit tougher.
No, yeah, we're writing their related one better.
Yeah, that one is much better.
Yeah.
Are there little like tidbits that we missed in this thing that I think you just kind of have to bring up? Tom Green is in this movie.
Oh yes.
I feel like I should just throw that out there. He doesn't really do much, but there he is.
He tosses a salad on himself.
It's a reminder that Tom Green was a thing for a while.
Oh yeah, Tom Green was a thing.
People thought he was funny for some reason.
I saw his movie.
I didn't, because I never really thought he was funny.
He jerks off an elephant.
I just remember watching him in
movie.
Road Trip going, leave the snake alone. Just get out of there. Leave him alone. He's better off without you.
If someone can convince me that Tom Green's character wasn't added way later in a punch-up reshoot meeting to the movie Road Trip, I don't have an end to that sentence, but he definitely
needed.
was. Well then,
if Tom Green is somebody's idea of punch-up, fire them.
This movie needs to be funnier. I could get Tom Green, you're fired.
See, I bet that the Will Ferrell God would have done that just for the heck of it. Yeah, no, he's pretty funny. He's kind of he's willing to be weird.
I mean, we're being really mean to Tom Green. I actually kind of enjoyed his humor there for a hot minute. I'll be honest, why not? He made me laugh. Yeah. He humped a dead moose.
He was really good for pubescent men.
He was. I wouldn't find it funny now, but I did then.
Yeah.
Trying to
you
think, is
know
there any
what?
other major people that or major things that we've missed? Like, this movie's just kind of a hit a minute. I know it's kind of a shallow thing, so it's tough to really review, but nothing else. Oh, the amazing fucking Evian line when she takes communion, body of Christ. Are these non-fat?
She shoves it in her mouth.
Yes, they are non-fat.
Such a wonderful response.
They're barely food. If you had to survive on those wafers, you'd be dead in 2 days. I feel like it has negative calories.
Yeah. That tracks. Okay, well then let's, because I feel like the rest of everything that I have that I'm going to point out are just quotes, so I feel like we should just move into quotes. Quote quotes.
Quotey quotes.
I kind of already said my favorite quote.
John did too, so let's do it the ones we've already heard, because I have not said mine yet.
Well, my favorite quote is the best insult of, why don't you go drink a bottle of yourself? It's the best quote.
There goes my quote.
We already said it.
Did we? Oh, I didn't realize I said it. Okay.
Oh, yep.
Oh, well then I'm good, because I have a backup.
And then for mine, it's when Grandma Gallagher has them repeat after her, and then Maria's like, "What's booga booga mean?" And she's like, "Well, I don't know, but if I say it, you better fucking figure it out." And just
got
the
their
way
one
she
fucking.
delivers it, the way she delivered it, I laughed out loud. And I was watching this late at night, so I had to like make sure everyone was still asleep.
That was the best line delivery in the whole movie.
I feel like if you said, do booga booga to Corn, he'd just do a butt dance.
Yeah, probably.
Booga 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 booga. Yeah, that's what Corn would do.
So I'm going to go with a backup line that is from that scene we mentioned earlier with, I'm forgetting his name, Glenn from Superstore.
Mark McKinney.
Mark McKinney, where Mary Catherine Gallagher and Evian had their fight. They'd made fun of each other a whole bunch. He had sent Evian home because Evian had broken the bigger rule of not letting people sign up for the talent show. And he asked the question of, Mary Catherine, what was that horrible thing you said to Sister Eileen? And she said, I told her to move her big white butt or I'd cold cock her honky ass.
She'd been rewinding a bunch of Spike Lee movies. Which I don't understand how she gets quotes from movies when she's rewinding
That doesn't
them.
make any sense. It's just...
But it sounds good. Like it's funny when you hear it. It doesn't have to make sense.
Oy, double features this week. I won't say it will be tough this week.
I have two.
Does that still
I'll
count?
go last if one of you take one of mine.
All right, mine's going to be... I think they'll pair well together. I think. They might not, but I'm going to go for it anyways. Going for tone, one's a little bit more serious, one's a little not. I'm going with Saved, because they both take place in a religious school. That's really it. That's kind of the baseline of my double feature of like, come check out Catholic School Night, where we'll have these two movies. Although Saved isn't a Catholic school, so it's falling apart as I speak.
They were
Chewy, what's yours?
religious school, weren't they?
Yes.
If you're feeling for a similar movie, but it's better than this one, Romeo and Michelle's High School Reunion.
Yeah.
A fabulous pairing. Kind of similar in tone, kind of similar in production design and costumes. Has the same villain lady, and is, being a businesswoman's important. Can we get the business breakfast? But if you're looking for a much better movie that is tonally completely different, but is also kind of about a superstar, Dead Poet Society.
Okay.
Catholic school? I think it's a Catholic school. Or is it just an Ivy League? I don't know. They wear uniforms.
I don't remember what type of school. I'm the old curmudgeon who hates that movie.
Yeah. But it's all about kids who have to put together a play. And one really wants to be in the play. And the father says no. And the son's like, whatever, I'm going to be a superstar. But then I know you really won't let me, so I'll kill myself.
And I'm pretty sure we all have a best friend who thinks that's the best movie ever made.
I don't think it's the best movie ever made, but I do think it's a very good movie.
I bet you know someone who does.
I'm going to pair it with a movie called Easy A in terms of just
Good match.
enjoyed the comedy. Yeah, I enjoyed the comedy of both, and the even though Emma Stone's nowhere near as physically comedic as Molly Shannon, the humor fits. It's a nice flow from one to the next. You've got Superstar first, and then just a nice, fun, easy A.
That's it. We have Saturday Night Live.
Ooh.
We accidentally covered 4 that I enjoyed. This is actually our most successful month of movies that I enjoyed. I didn't have a single one that I hated. Next month.
Month.
Getting back into People next month.
Woohoo! I can't wait to get back into People.
So starting out the month of September, we have the wonderful, the critically acclaimed, the multiple award-winning Miss Eve Stewart. Famed production designer, pretty amazing career, and so amazing that when I was looking at the list of all of the things that she has done, I'm like, I need to pick out 4 of these. I just suddenly went, fuck! How do you pick 4? She has so many movies, it's insane. So, we are going to do the same thing for Eve Stewart that we did for SNL, and I will be announcing all of the movies that we're covering at the end of next week's episode after me, John, and Chewy all pick one from her very long list of movies. But, so you can watch along with us, I will give you a place to start. We're going to start, and I know it's a little bit of a long movie, but it is probably her highest reviewed, I think. It has a 90 on Metacritic. It was up for Best Picture. People loved it, and I never saw it. Topsy-Turvy.
It's got Jim Broadbent in it.
I love Jim Broadbent. I know really nothing
He
about
already
it.
looks like he's playing Diddler right there, even though he's not.
It does kind of. Yeah. I heard great things about it. I remember it won 2 Oscars. Like I remember it being a big deal when it came out, but I never saw it. It never really kind of grabbed me. It did come out the same year as Superstar and The Matrix. 99 was a big year for movies. Sorry, random tangent. But yeah, so Topsy-Turvy is where we're starting out. The Mike Leigh film. I'm excited to watch it. I know nothing about it. It looks pretty. And then after that, we will do 3 other movies from her career, which is very extensive. And I can just spoil my pick right out of the gate. It's Cats. We'll be doing Cats at some point because she was a
Meow
on Cats. And as I've said publicly many times, fuck the haters. I love the movie. And I don't love it ironically. I actually think it's a good movie. We'll get into that later after, everyone who just said I'll never listen to another episode of your show again because of what I just said.
Cats.
It's Jellicle, man.
Meow.
Everything's just Jellicle.
Great.
Especially when you're hanging out with the magical Mr. Mistopheles.
It's so good. It's so good. Oh my god, it's so good. I'm so excited to watch
You'll
it.
hear him in the attic when he's really down the hall. So that just means the cat can throw his voice.
Yeah. He's magical.
It's not magical. He's a ventriloquist.
He made 7 kittens appear out of a hat.
That means he's a slut.
No, he's a superstar. I'm not a slut. I'm not a slut.
You might need to cut that out. I just thought it was a good punchline.
No, I'm definitely keeping that in. Oh my god.
I'm slut-shaming a cat guy.
And then, because John got in, we didn't mention, I totally forgot what my quote was going to be if somebody had taken mine, and it was just going to be oh, and I'm totally sorry, you didn't realize you're going up against a superstar! It's so good. All right. That's everything. Moving into plugs, and then we'll say goodbye, and then say hello again next week. For me, plugs. Welcome to You Are Doom, the new Frisky Dingo podcast. I guess it's not really new anymore. We've had a few episodes. Comes out every Monday around in the morning, and it's been a blast. It has literally just been the most fun I've had recording a podcast about a cartoon show in the past, 3 weeks. The most fun I've ever had in the past 3 weeks recording a podcast about a cartoon show.
You have to be very specific.
Is that specific enough to just say that I really enjoy making this show and you guys should listen to it? Yeah. Is that good enough? I feel like I did it. Yeah. Chewy, what you plugging?
Superstar.
Superstar. John, what you plugging?
Well, after that little skit there, how can you top it? I've got Demon Days, the actual play podcast that I do every week. We're still going strong, doing our best in this pandemic, and having a good time, and always up to no good.
So with that, I'm going to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Good. Goodbye. I tried to do it like Superstar. Did it come across?
Yes.
Bye.
Oh, we never mentioned the guy who do everything 5 times. 5 times.
Who it actually
5 times.
was gay, I think.
5 times.
Right?